Growing up, I was raised in a Christian home. And as I just kind of got older, and I just started not really enjoying it much anymore. I started becoming pretty rebellious, and as that grew, I remember in 8th grade, the way that I acted out was I was offered marijuana and I tried it, and I fell in love with it. And as that went on into the summer and then into high school, I ended up selling it, smoking it daily, got my friends involved in it, and then I started trying other things. As living in that life, more things were offered, so I started seeking out hallucinogenics and prescription medication. I was drinking, partying regularly, had the world at my feet, so I could do whatever I wanted. With that, legal trouble came. I started getting hit with possession and arrested for underage drinking, and I remember being at a party and I was offered Oxycontin, and after I tried it, I fell in love with it. As that progressed, I started using it, a couple times a week, and then before you know it, I was doing it daily, to where all my money, all my time, all my efforts, everything I thought about was just that drug. I remember hiding it from my parents, and they knew something was going on. And I remember one day my friends, who I lost pretty much, came to my house, my parents' house, and they told them, they dropped the news on them. And after that, it was just a lot of things changed between us after they knew. I went and got help. I went into a detox facility for my first time. And I was there for, probably about a week. And after I left there, I was gung-ho sobriety, and my parents gave me a second chance to move back in. And so I was staying there. I was doing things that I had to do to maintain sobriety, but I still relied on me and Seth. I still really didn't believe really in anything. I always kind of knew something was out there, but never really believed in what I was taught. I ended up using again and relapsed. And that time, it got worse. It progressed from prescription medication to heroin. And as that went on, I got kicked out of my parents' house after they found out I was stealing. I was going through legal trouble. I was on probation. And so once they kicked me out, it was devastating. I just remember that look in my dad's eyes. I remember that look in my mother's eyes, and it was terrible. It was there's no words to describe that feeling. I can't even imagine what they were going through. So I went and got help again, and it wasn't anything. I think I was just really doing it to please people. It wasn't for me. So I was back on the streets and using and selling and to support my habit. I was in and out of jail, kept getting arrested. And I got to a point where I was living on the street under the high-level bridge. I was facing 8 to 12 years of prison, in and out of halfway houses, in and out of detoxes and rehabs. So much money spent, so much time and effort spent. I got to that point to where I didn't know if I wanted to live anymore. It reached to where I didn't want to keep going. I hit a crossroad to where I couldn't see myself going any further with the drugs, but I couldn't see myself living anymore. I didn't know what to do. The snowball effect, it's like as time went on and as I got deeper and deeper into that lifestyle, more chains were just dragging me down. They were getting heavier and heavier and heavier, and I was a prisoner. I was a slave. I was standing on the high-level bridge in January, middle of January, and finally when I came to that point where I just didn't want to live anymore, my friend and my mother reached out actually to me and suggested the Salvation Army. I came to that point where I just said, yeah, let's do it. And I remember pretty much crawling in there because I was so sick and brittle, and I didn't know what to expect. I walked in, I had no idea what the Salvation Army was other than a thrift store, but apparently they have a rehab. And I walked in, I saw, pictures of Jesus on the wall and crosses, and I thought to myself, what did I get myself into? But I was to that point where it didn't matter. I was ready. So I was there for a night. Then the next day we went to a sing and praise at their chapel down the street in downtown Toledo. And it was during a song when I just broke down. I remember being so overwhelmed, I dropped to my knees, I was crying. I had some brothers came and that were there, and they came around and started praying with me and hugging me. And it was just like everything I knew was fixed. I felt a high that I've never felt before. Nothing that heroin or pot or any drug has ever given me before. And it was just overwhelming. And I just knew. It was like a light clicked on. And that day I said yes. I said yes to Jesus. I accepted him into my life. And ever since then, my life has changed. As I went through the program, I was there for a year. I stayed, stuck it out. Now I have a great relationship with my family. It's definitely getting so much better. I have friends and support in my life. I'm involved in Cedar Creek. I'm actually interning in student ministries here at Cedar Creek. I work at a company where I'm working with people in recovery from substance abuse as a coach. Taking that first hit when I was a kid in 8th grade to being a junkie under the bridge. No family, no rehab, no friends, nothing that I could have done got me out of it. The only person who got me out of it is God. Without God, I'd have no purpose. Without God, I would still be on the street. Without God, I'd still be dead. I should be in prison. I should be under that bridge. Without God, my life has no meaning. Without God, that's up to my own laurels and my great decision making. It leads to that death. My best thinking got me to where I was. And so without God, I would be right back there. And that's the only reason why I'm still here. It's the only reason why I'm still sober. It's the only reason why I have purpose and meaning in my life. And I'm Seth Oswald, and that is my story of redemption.